So we covered till the prayers for Vaishnavas, right?
Yes.
Now we will move forward. So we did prayers to spiritual master, to all the associates of Krishna, for Srimati Radharani, and for all the Vaishnavas. Now next prayer is for associates of Lord Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself. So please recite after me. This is the Panchtattva mantra which we recite every day before starting our chanting. Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Shri Advaita Gadardana
Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Okay. So now let's understand. I'm showing you a photo. Okay, let's just open that photo. No, we'll do it later. Yes. So you can see this photo here. So see, in mid, this is Lord Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself. And near to him is Lord Nityananda, who is his elder brother Balram in Krishna Leela. When Krishna comes in Dwapar Yuga on earth, so see, Krishna never comes alone. He always comes with his associates. So his personal associates are his brother, his parents, Srimati Radharani, his consort, and his friends. So in every yuga, he comes with his associates. In Kali Yuga also, he comes with his associates. So not only these four associates, but there are other associates who came. Parents also are there. And see, all the associates are same only. It's just they also incarnate in different forms, just like Krishna do. So this Nityananda Prabhu is same Balaram only. No difference. Just like you can understand this with an example, just like if in schools or colleges, students they perform some drama, some act. So that girl is same, but to perform some drama or act, she changes her dress, her form. So same way, Lord Krishna is same only, but he comes in Kali Yuga as Lord Chaitanya. Lord Balram is same. He's same personality, but he comes as Lord Nityananda to perform their pastimes in Kali Yuga. And in other yugas also, in Treta Yuga, Lord Krishna comes as Lord Rama. And same Balram comes as Lakshmana, as his younger brother this time. So like that. He's Advaita Acharya, who is Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu is Krishna only. Then he is Gadadhar. Can you repeat? Gadadhar?
Gadadhar.
Yes, it's Gadadhar. So Gadadhar is, do you remember? Srimati Radharani. So although Srimati Radharani is consort of Krishna, but in Kali Yuga, she comes as a boy, Gadadhar. She takes this form.
Is there a
And
reason why?
just for pastimes. And he is Shrivas, who is Narad Muni. He's basically very exalted devotee of Krishna.
Mm.
And let me tell you in brief about Lord Chaitanya. See, once, okay, let's just understand this with a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. I made notes here. You will not understand this language probably because I have made notes for my preference here. But here, the reason for Krishna coming as Lord Chaitanya has given. So, once Krishna, he was wondering that why this Srimati Radharani, this Radharani, loves me so much. Why she's always absorbed in serving me so much. What joy, what kind of bliss is she experiencing? Uh, just forget these notes. We'll just go back to our that photo only. Yes. So, yes, Krishna, he was wondering that what kind of bliss, what kind of ecstasy, what kind of joy she experience when she is always thinking about me, when she is serving to me, she's always absorbed in thoughts to satisfy me. So, what kind of feeling is she experiencing? So, to
Mm.
experience that feeling, Lord Krishna, he took bhava. Bhava means uh, intention or heart of Srimati Radharani. Now, this is inconceivable, but Lord can do anything. Please understand that consort of Krishna is the manifested energy of Krishna only. So, these are two personalities, Krishna and Radha, but then also they are one. Because Srimati Radharani is internal potency of Krishna. Just like we see sun, so there is sun and there is sunlight. So we cannot separate sun and sunlight, isn't it? But then also
Mm.
sun and sunlight are different because sunlight is the energy of sun. We can say this. So same way, Krishna, Krishna's eternal potency if Shri is Srimati Radharani. So they are one but in two forms. We cannot separate
Mm.
them. And that's why you will learn, in fact in India it's very prominent. People say often this, that Krishna has never married Srimati Radharani. So they assume Radha and Krishna as ordinary persons, like we see here in this material world. People have such misconceptions. But this is very much important to understand that they are not different.
Mm.
But at the same time, they are not same. So Krishna's eternal potency is Srimati Radharani. So yes, are you understanding? To understand what kind of bliss, what kind of happiness Srimati Radharani experience. So to experience those experiences, Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya. So now, Lord Chaitanya is the combined formation of Radha and Krishna.
Mm.
So you will see Lord Chaitanya's complexion is also molten gold, which
Mm.
is similar to the complexion of Radharani.
Yes, yes,
We
yes.
learned this
And
yesterday.
so when we say Hare in the mantra, that's
Yes,
referring to
Radharani. Yes,
Radharani.
yes,
Sri Mata Radharani.
yes. Srimati is used to give respect. Just like
I see.
we say here, Miss Christine. So instead of saying
Mm.
only Christine, we say Miss Christine. So same
Mm.
way to give respect, we use Srimati. Otherwise, her name
I
is
see.
Radha, Radharani. Yes. So, yes. So, are you getting? Lord Chaitanya is combined
Oh,
formation of Krishna and Radharani. So that
yes.
bhava, do
Well,
you understand bhava? Bhava?
no,
No? Okay, let's
no,
just
tell me.
Google it. Yes, see, me feeling or emotion or attitude, state of being is bhava. So in
Mm.
that emotion, sh- Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, he accepted the attitude, the state of being of Radharani, and still the naughtiness of Krishna is still there in Lord Chaitanya. So that way, Lord Chaitanya is the combined formation of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. So I hope
Mm.
you get it.
Yes. Okay. So can you say the name again? The
Bhava.
Srimata
Okay, Srimati Radha Rani.
Radharani. Radharani. Okay.
Yes. Radharani.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So this is Lord Chaitanya. Okay,
It is a lot to learn.
yes. See, God is unlimited, and there is the knowledge about God to learn is also unlimited. We
Yes.
can never understand God in full because unlimited means which has no end. Unlimited, infinite. So God is infinite, and there is so much to learn about Him. But still, we cannot understand Him completely. That's the beauty.
Yes.
Once there was a person, I'm not remembering his name now, but he was very famous in the whole world. So he said that I do not wish to accept anyone as a god to whom we can understand completely.
Mm.
Because if we do that, so he will not be God at all, because he will also be like us in limits.
Mhm.
So God is unlimited, He's infinite. So there is so much to
Mhm.
learn about Him. And you will see this wisdom is so amazing. It's not boring at all if you really try to
It's true.
understand it. Right? I
That is
really
true.
reflect on this. I was, never good in studies. I was average, but I was like, I never wanted to go to school or colleges. It was too much for me to do those material studies. But then also I was doing it, for the sake of doing. And now I I don't miss those days. I get relief. Oh, thank God I'm, passed out from those colleges and schools. I never want to go back there. But here, it's completely different. I want to learn more and more. I want to read more and more because this is the beauty of scriptures. They are never
Yes.
boring. And in fact, you won't believe devotees, they read Bhagavad Gita again and again, like complete Bhagavad Gita, and they always find new topics, something new meaning in it.
I
I know
believe this very
devotees
much.
I know devotees who have read Bhagavad Gita 100 times, complete Bhagavad
Wow.
Gita. So, yes, this is ever fresh. This wisdom is ever fresh. You will never get bored. This is the
Yes.
beauty.
I'm excited. I'm more interested in this study than in my academics.
Yes, material study is very boring. There is no taste in it. Real taste is in Bhagavad Gita, in these
Yes.
scriptures.
And no heart. Like when you study this, I feel like I'm studying my new extended family. I have this huge extended family and I'm trying to get to know everybody.
Wow. And you will also feel a different satisfaction when we, read, when we study Bhagavad Gita, then we feel different
Mhm.
satisfaction after reading it. And that
Mm.
satisfaction we can never find in material studies.
Mm,
And you are the proof because you are not paying anything to me. Sorry, I am not asking you. I mean, no one have asked you to, no one have asked you that you will get money for investing your time or putting your time here. You're coming here for free. Many people, they do things for free when they like it. Otherwise, no one do it for free. So
mhm,
you are not getting paid for these studies, but then also you are coming every day. So this shows that you have taste. You already have taste in these.
mm. And same for you, teaching me without asking for anything. It's incredible. So I'm very grateful.
Yes. Do you remember like today's session, day 17, was about this only, Swadharma in UHC. That,
Yes, it's like your own personal duty, like the thing that you're
yes,
good at and enjoy.
yes, you do it in service to others.
Mm, mhm.
And he also quoted verse from Bhagavad Gita, third chapter. So it was nice. But you should know that Subha and Harsh are also ISKCON devotees. And I have been in touch with them for about 7 years now. And initially, when they started this Sattvic movement, so they were also trying to preach Krishna consciousness, but because people they belongs to different religion, different faith, so they were not feeling interested. So that's why now they are also preaching, but in different way. If you will observe, they are making people follow these four regulative principles,
Hmm.
isn't it? So they are
Yes, and
also
even
Krishna. They are also Krishna devotees, they are also ISKCON devotees, but they are preaching in different way. So that like they may attract the whole world so that they may follow the right path.
mm, yes,
And
I
say
really I suspected this. Even some of the music they played, I thought, oh, this is such a beautiful song. And then I would look up what the song is, and it would be um,
about
somebody who is into Krishna consciousness.
yes,
So I'm thinking, oh, I think they are.
yes, many of their songs they play about Krishna. So earlier, they used to play also, they used to sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But now they have limited these things. They are not showing it off that they are Krishna devotee, but they are preaching in different way. So that people may not think that these Sattvic movement people are trying to impose their faith or some religion on us. Because,
Mm.
you know, people from different countries, from different caste, custom, they join. So yes. And I love this analogy, this strategy of these Sattvic movement people because it becomes easy for me to catch people from these workshops. You won't believe, like many of my students are the followers of Sattvic movement only. I catch them from these workshops. So this is also my one of my reason to attend these workshops so that I may make friendship with people and I may connect them with Krishna. So it's very
Well,
nice.
it's very true everything you're saying because it's like gardening. Because in the Suffolk movement, what they do is kind of like they're preparing the ground. They're tilling the dirt and planting the seeds because by the time that you messaged me, my heart was so prepared, especially when we did the emotional, you know, um, the relational exercise to write the letters, release unresolved relationships. And then also when they introduced Maya and you see her suffering and you're like, oh, I can't support, hurting animals anymore, especially a mother. It's so moving and it's so impactful. It really, really changed my life. And it is powerful. But I think what they're doing, it's the right way because they have a big influence, but it's subtle.
True.
You know, they help raise the consciousness of people
True.
before they might be ready, you know? They get them prepared.
True. Which is actually very difficult. But because of health purpose, people they just follow that, wow, I want to become healthy. But it is actually helping them to become close to spirituality. So it's very amazing.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
very much important to follow good habits in life. Uh, only then we can incline towards spirituality. Otherwise, you will see
Mhm.
people who follow bad habits. They are never inclined towards spirituality.
Mm.
Spirituality is always absurd for them. So it's
Mm.
important to follow.
But you know, the couple that does the yoga group, I was thinking maybe they're not ISKCON.
No, no.
Okay.
They are little confused. In beginning, they were also they were also trying to follow ISKCON,
Mhm.
but later, because that girl, she she was trying to go deep in yoga. Okay, yes, let me tell you right now, in evening class, after 1 hour from now, Srimad Bhagavatam, my master is teaching Ashtang Yoga. Ashtang Yoga is also there in Srimad Bhagavatam. But the bona fide way to follow Ashtang Yoga is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the bona fide way. Again, even on these books of yoga, people, they have again shared their philosophies, their speculation. So it's really very dangerous to read these books. This can, shake our faith. We People can become confused that which is the right part. This book is saying correct or that book is saying correct. So because I mean, okay, she is also telling right things, but still, main focus should be to please God, to please Krishna. So she would have understood this if she would have read Srimad Bhagavatam, but it's okay. What can be done? At least she is hosting these workshops, and you also came from yoga workshop only, right? We connected from yoga workshop. So it's good because see, we don't know how Krishna
Yes,
is
of course.
using people as his instruments.
Of
Krishna
course.
always uses people as his instruments in some way. So it's
Yes.
okay.
Of course. May I share with you the thing that made me suspect that they're not ISKCON? And you can tell me if I'm correct or if I'm confused.
Yes, please.
So she said in one of the videos that in this lifetime, she and her husband chose not to have children. But I
Yes, I
think
also heard
my
that.
understanding is that in ISKCON, that's the purpose of marriage, is to have Krishna conscious children. So if you choose not to have children, maybe you shouldn't get married, right?
This
Like,
is true.
am I right?
This is true. But see,
Because this is kind of also like how Catholics teach, so I might be getting confused with a Catholic perspective because in Catholicism, you are supposed to be open to children. Like, it's against being Catholic to say, "Oh, uh, we're not going to have children." You're supposed to be willing if you're married.
actually, this is not the only reason. It's completely up to the couples whether they wish to raise kids or not. Because let me tell you, my master, he was brahmachari for about uh, 20 to 25 years, if I'm not wrong. And he was adamant to his decision that he will always be a brahmachari. He'll never be a grahasti. He'll never get married. But
Mhm.
after his mother passed, her mother left her body. So he was wanting someone who may, just like a mother was supporting him, because he preach, his whole mission is to preach this message of Krishna consciousness, and he has many students, like on the regular basis, and is in his class about 150 students come on Zoom every day. So he have been preaching from years now, and his only mission is to preach the message of Krishna consciousness. But yes, after his mother left her body, so there are many things which we need to manage, making meals, doing DT worship if we have DTs in home, cleaning. So these are also responsibilities which takes time, lot of our time goes in such things. So because of this reason, later he get married. But they have also decided to not raise kids, but they are supporting each other, uh, uh, basically to progress in Krishna consciousness. And that uh, Mataji, to whom he married, she is being my counselor from the very starting. She is only responsible for where I am today in my spiritual journey. So yes, please understand that after getting married, if someone is not raising kids, then doesn't mean they are going against this call. It's completely their choice where they wish to raise kids or not.
I
But
see.
yes,
I
it
see.
is recommended that someone, if he does not want to raise kids, then it's fine to not get married.
Mm.
But there are some exceptions, just like I share about my master. So this is not the
Mm.
only reason that those both who are, making people practice yoga are not ISKCON, are not followers of ISKCON. This is not the only reason.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it depends. Okay, back to our topic now. Let's move to our. Okay, please read the translation. This session
Mm.
was about, today's session went little bit personal today, but it's okay. It was about Krishna only. Okay, please read the translation now. I offer my obeisances.
I offer my obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of
No,
the Lord.
no, no.
Oh,
This one.
I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna
Chaitanya.
Chaitanya,
Yes.
Prabhu Nityananda, Sri
Nityananda.
Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara,
Gadadhar.
Srivas
Gadadhar.
Gadadhara, Gadadhara, Srivasa, and all others in the line of devotion.
Yes. So, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda means to all the others, other people, other devotees who are in the line of devotion.
Is that the same thing as the disciplic succession?
Yes. So, if you are reading Bhagavad Gita here, and if you are also repeating the same message of Krishna to other people, then you are also the part of disciplic succession, because you
Wow.
are following same parampara, same line. So, parampara means that you are repeating the same words of Krishna and you are not changing anything. This is what Srila Prabhupada said, that my only quality is I have not changed anything. I
Mm,
have said as it is, which I heard from my master.
mm,
And every devotee should develop this quality, that we don't say our own message, we say Krishna's message as it is,
mm,
without concoction or speculation. Okay, next
mm.
come our favorite Mahamantra. Please recite with me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, perfect. So now next comes the philosophy part of the introduction. Basically, main introduction starts from here, where Prabhupada will tell about Bhagavad Gita, that how Bhagavad Gita is important and why to read only this Bhagavad Gita. So let's read few paras. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to read. Please read.
Okay. Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gitopanishad. It is the essence of Vedic knowledge and one of the most important Upanishads in Vedic literature. Of course, there are many commentaries in English on the Bhagavad Gita, and one may question the necessity for another one. This present edition can be explained in the following way. Recently, an American lady asked me to recommend an English translation of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, in America, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita available in English. But as far as I have seen, not only in America but also in India, none of them can be strictly said to be authoritative because in almost every one of them, the commentator has expressed his own opinions without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is.
So I hope it's clear what Prabhupada is trying to tell here, that there are many editions available, not only in America, but also in India. But no one can strictly, I mean, none of them can be strictly said to be authoritative, because they have said their own commentaries. They have expressed their own opinions in their commentaries. And those are not touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. So, what is the
Mm,
spirit of Bhagavad Gita? Any person, if he's saying that, oh, I have read Bhagavad Gita. So, what is the proof if he has really read and understood Bhagavad Gita? He will become a devotee of Krishna.
mm,
His all the actions, whatever duties he do, those will be aligned with Krishna. Those actions and duties will be to satisfy Krishna. And this is what Bhagavad Gita will train us, that how we may devote our life to Krishna, which can give us real peace, real happiness, and that is the ultimate success of this human form of life. So, yes,
mm,
this is why Prabhupada is saying that they have not touched the real spirit of Bhagavad Gita, because people who are reading other editions, they are not becoming devotees of Krishna. But on the other hand, who are reading Bhagavad Gita as it is, like reading means not mechanical reading, but they are understanding that, yes, what Prabhupada is saying, what Krishna is saying. So you will see those people are becoming devotees. Okay. Also, one more thing I want to say to you, Mataji. Whenever you met any devotee, try to ask them that how they came in Krishna consciousness. I always ask this question with every devotee to whomsoever I meet, that how they came into Krishna consciousness. And everyone's story is very amazing, very different. And I just love to hear. Let me tell you one story.
great.
I met with one girl. She was from Western country. She came in India. Every year in India, in Vrindavan, uh, one program happens here of 1 week, and it happens on international level. Like devotees from West, they come here, and definitely that program is from ISKCON, about Krishna consciousness. Do you remember I shared you a video on Instagram and I told you that he's my spiritual master? Do you remember?
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
he
Uh-huh.
hosts those sessions. He's from Germany and he hosts
Mm,
those sessions in Vrindavan, those
mm,
programs. And it happens for about 1 week. So, yes, I met that Mataji in that program. and she shared her story that she used to go in concerts. And in one of the concert, there was a devotee, and he was actually a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So he used to sing. And in his singing, he used to sing the prayers to Prabhupada, which we recite every day. So he was singing, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale, like that, in his style, whatever, in the way they do their music. I was really laughing. I was smiling so much that wow, devotees are so awesome. They can preach in any way. So she was telling that
Yes.
he used to sing the prayers of Prabhupada or the Mahamantra, and all the people there, they were not understanding that what he's singing, but then also because it was music, so they were enjoying. But please understand, these prayers, whatever we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, the verses of Bhagavad Gita, they are also transcendental. And as soon as any person comes in contact to this vibration, to this sound vibration, his consciousness is purifying. Even if he do not understand the meaning of the verses or of the prayers, but then also if he's coming in the contact, his consciousness is purifying. Please, let's just understand this with an
I
example.
felt it. Yeah.
Yes, let's understand this with an example. Suppose a
Yes.
person is sick, any person is sick, and he's taking a medicine. So even though he is not aware about the benefit of that medicine, but because he is coming in contact with that medicine, he's consuming it, so that medicine will do its work, even though that
Mhm.
person is not aware of the benefits or about the glories of that medicine. But then also, because he's coming in contact with that medicine, then medicine is doing
Mhm.
its work. So same way,
Mhm.
these words of Krishna, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra that we chant, it's not different from Krishna. And any person, if he's coming in contact with uh, these mantras, then mantras will do its work, Krishna will do its work, purify the consciousness. So that way, that's why, even if you go out and you see any creature, we should always say Maha Mantra to them, because they are also living being, and this Maha Mantra acts on soul, not on the body.
Mhm.
This mantra is for the soul. So this Maha
Mhm.
Mantra works on soul. So we should definitely, I saw your status, you were with a cat, right? A cat came maybe in your house. So you would have
Mhm.
say, next time if you see her, you can sing Mahamantra to her, even though she will not understand because she's cat. But then also she can understand that, oh, some noise is coming, some sound is coming. So she will
You
be
know,
better.
I told my mother that since I have been vegetarian, all the animals are friendlier with me, and my mom thinks I'm crazy, but I think it's true.
Yes, it's very true. It's very true. Even I also observe, like when I go near to any bird or something, they do not fly. They remain seated there. Like they are not afraid. I also don't understand why it's happening, but it's
Mhm.
the beauty. So it's very amazing.
Mhm.
So yes, next
Yes.
time whenever you meet any devotee, even if you meet any devotee online, you can always ask this question, that how you came into Krishna consciousness. It's very amazing to know.
For for Samarth and Sarva, whose house I went to last week, they said they got invited to an ISKCON temple back in India when they were students. And mainly at first, they just went for the food. The both of them, each of them separately, they loved the food and they met there.
Okay. So they
So
are
also the
Indians,
food
or
worked on them.
they are Indians? Are they Indians?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Maybe I can introduce you on Facebook.
Yes, you can. You know, many
if you
devotees
want.
came in Krishna consciousness because of food. Because food of ISKCON is very amazing. And you know why? Because it's prasadam, remnants of Krishna. So
You cut out.
everyone loves food of ISKCON. Even if you take your mother someday to ISKCON, she will also appreciate the food. They serve pure vegetarian or maybe vegan food also. In some centers, they serve vegan food also. But that tastes so amazing. Like so amazing. Especially, people in Western countries, devotees, they serve Indian meals. So Western people, they
Mm,
naturally become, they find it very interesting. Indian meals, they find very interesting. That wow. So they
mm.
appreciate it so much. So, maybe you can
Yes.
someday take your mother also to ISKCON. She will definitely appreciate the food.
Yes, I love that.
Yes. So this way we should try to give contact of Krishna in different ways to people. We can offer them prasadam, we can say Mahamantra to them. Even, sometimes you can play kirtans on loud volume in your house. And if your
Mm,
mother will hear, then she will also, gradually she will change.
mm,
Sh- I know it takes some times. You have to be very patient, but don't try to change your mother. We have to work on ourselves. If we will
yes.
change, then we will see people will change by time.
Mm, that's true. That's another thing about the Sattvic movement workshops. They play those kirtans.
Yes,
It,
yes, they
it
play those
changed.
kirtans, and people of other faith or anything, they are also coming in contact to those kirtans, so they also become purified. So you can see their strategy is very amazing. They are trying different style of preaching, which is good because I get so much benefit from that. It becomes easy for me to catch people from these workshops. So it's very
Mm.
amazing. Okay, now Mataji, we will stop here. I really wish to continue. It's never going. Like we can speak for hours, we can talk for hours, but we have to stop now because I have to go. So,
I
also,
appreciate this time so much. Thank you, Mataji.
yes, yes, Mataji. Thank you so much for coming. And you can come every day at 5:30. We can connect on Telegram now because my WhatsApp is not working. So,
Okay.
yes, you can text me there.
The messages that you didn't see on WhatsApp, I'll send you over on Telegram.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you so much for joining. We'll stop here now. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.